Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the biggest mistake of your life wasn't a business decision, wasn't quitting that job or investing your money poorly? The biggest mistake might have been the woman you chose. And before you close this video thinking this is about blaming women, take a deep breath. It's not about that. It's about you. It's about your inability to see patterns, to read signs, to understand that a wrong choice in this area of life can destroy everything you've built. The downfall of men doesn't happen with an explosion. It's not dramatic. It's silent. It's slow. It's like rust corroding steel. You don't notice until the entire structure collapses. And when it happens, when you look around and see your mission abandoned, your money draining away, your mental peace shattered, you finally understand. But by then, it's too late. The world doesn't warn you about this. Nobody sits beside you and tells you in plain terms that the person you share your bed with can be the determining factor between you achieving greatness or sinking into mediocrity. Society romanticizes male vulnerability. It teaches you that love is blind surrender, that relationships are about unconditional commitment, that questioning behaviors is a lack of love. This is a trap, and you fell for it. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon, because the content I'm going to bring here can literally change the trajectory of your life. It's not an exaggeration. It's the raw truth that nobody else has the courage to speak. Machiavelli never wrote about relationships. He wrote about power, about strategy, about how to survive in a world where naivety is punished with destruction. But if you take the principles he used to teach princes how to govern kingdoms and apply them to your personal choices, especially in choosing who you allow into your life intimately, you discover frightening patterns. Patterns that most men completely ignore. Machiavelli understood human nature without filters. He knew that people act out of self-interest, that loyalty must be constantly earned and tested, that appearances deceive, and that good intentions don't guarantee good results. Applying this cold and strategic vision to the world of relationships isn't being cruel. It's being intelligent. It's understanding that you're making one of the most important choices of your existence, and that treating it like a romantic fairy tale is strategic suicide. Think about the great men who fell not on battlefields, but in their own bedrooms. Kings who lost kingdoms because they couldn't see past beauty. Warriors who survived wars but were destroyed by domestic chaos. Builders who constructed empires only to watch them crumble because they chose poorly in matters of the heart. History is littered with these cautionary tales, yet modern men think they're somehow immune. Here's the base rule, the first law of this video, and you need to engrave this in your mind as if you were engraving it in stone. A woman either elevates your trajectory or slowly corrodes your life. There's no middle ground. There's no neutral. She's either aligned with your mission, strengthening your discipline, protecting your mental peace, or she's doing exactly the opposite. And the opposite doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't need to be explicit betrayal or constant fights. It can be subtle. A comment here devaluing your work. A demand there competing with your training time. A constant emotional instability that forces you to live putting out emotional fires instead of building empires. The problem is that most men can't see this until it's too late. They confuse passion with compatibility. They confuse attraction with alignment. They confuse promises with actual behavior patterns. And by the time clarity arrives, years have been wasted, resources have been drained, and the man they once were is barely recognizable. First strategic law. Evaluate the impact, not the appearance. Modern culture has trained you to choose with your eyes. Physical beauty, body, face, her social status. How many Instagram likes she has? This is completely irrelevant in the long term. Machiavelli would say it like this: what matters isn't the promise she shows, it's the real effect she has on your life. Are you more disciplined or less disciplined since she entered? Are you more focused or more distracted? Is your money growing or being drained? Is your mental peace intact or constantly disturbed? These are the questions that matter. The most beautiful woman in the world can be the worst strategic choice of your life if she destabilizes everything you've built. And a woman who may not be the magazine cover model can be the best ally you've ever had if she strengthens your trajectory. Weak men choose with ego. Strong men choose with strategy. A strategic man looks at his life like a general surveys a battlefield. Every element must serve a purpose. Every alliance must strengthen position. Every decision must move toward victory, not away from it. Your woman is not a trophy to display. She's either a strategic asset or a strategic liability. There's no in between. Second law: don't choose women who compete with your mission. Pay attention to this point because it's subtle and extremely destructive. The right woman understands that your mission comes first. Not because she doesn't matter, but because she understands that a man without a mission is an empty man, and an empty man has nothing real to offer. The wrong woman will use neediness as a weapon. She transforms your dedication to work into emotional neglect. She make you feel guilty for training, for studying, for building. She doesn't necessarily do this out of malice. Often she doesn't even realize it. But the result is the same. You start abandoning your discipline to feed her infinite emotional need. And when you realize it, you've become a ghost of the version you used to be. Machiavelli would understand this perfectly. He would say that anything that weakens your strategic position is a threat, regardless of whether it comes wrapped in affection or promises of love. Your mission is what gives your life meaning. It's what makes you valuable. It's what creates the foundation upon which everything else is built. A woman who undermines this undermines everything. Third law, and this one is heavy. The biggest danger isn't her behavior, but your lack of discernment. Let me be direct. The central problem isn't that there are destructive women in the world. The problem is that you insist on ignoring the signs. You see giant red flags and decide they're just pink flags in strange lighting. Machiavelli wrote a phrase that should be tattooed on every modern man's forehead. The deceiver always finds someone who wants to be deceived. You want to believe. You want it to work. You see potential instead of seeing patterns. And that kills you. She treats you poorly. You justify it. She's emotionally unstable. You rationalize it. She disrespects your boundaries. You think that with time she'll change. She won't. People show you who they are. Your job isn't to try to transform them into who you wish they were. Your job is to believe the demonstration and act accordingly. The truth is staring you in the face, but you refuse to see it because seeing it would require difficult action. And most men are cowards when it comes to difficult action. They'd rather live in comfortable delusion than face uncomfortable reality. Let me pause here to ask you something. If you're seeing value in this content, share this video with a friend who needs to hear this. It's not about ego. It's about spreading knowledge that can literally save someone's life. And comment down below which of these laws so far made the most sense to you. Fourth law. Observe how she reacts to your leadership. This is a test that never fails. The right woman will respect your vision. She may question, she may challenge, she may even disagree, but always within a framework of respect. She understands that you're leading because you have clarity, discipline, and direction. The wrong woman will mock your vision. She challenges your authority not to strengthen the relationship, but to undermine your position. She transforms your strength into oppression, your clarity into control, your leadership into machismo. Machiavelli said that a leader who tries to please everyone loses everyone's respect. This applies perfectly here. If you're constantly negotiating your leadership, constantly justifying your decisions, constantly asking permission to be who you are, you've already lost. And worse, you're in a relationship where you'll never be truly respected. A man who leads doesn't apologize for leading. He doesn't seek approval for his vision. He simply moves forward with clarity and purpose, and the right woman will naturally fall into step beside him. The wrong woman will fight every step of the way. Fifth law. Pay attention to her behavior when the world goes quiet. Anyone can be pleasant when everything is exciting. Vacations, parties, novelties, initial passion. The real test comes in routine. How does she handle normalcy? How does she react to boredom? How does she behave when there's no drama, when there's no crisis, when life is simply stable. Women addicted to chaos will inevitably destroy your stability. They need emotional turbulence to feel alive. And if life isn't naturally providing that, they'll create it. Fights out of nowhere. Manufactured crises. Constant instability. This isn't passion. It's toxicity. And it will drain you until there's nothing left. Peace is a warrior's greatest luxury. After battles fought, after challenges overcome, a man needs sanctuary. If your home isn't sanctuary but another battlefield, you'll never recover your strength. You'll never operate at peak capacity. You'll spend your life exhausted, fighting wars on two fronts. Sixth law. The past isn't history, it's prediction. The modern world tells you not to judge, not to look at her past, to accept that everyone deserves a fresh chance. This is dangerous naivety. Machiavelli would be very clear: ignoring behavioral patterns is choosing your own defeat. If she repeatedly cheated in previous relationships, the statistical probability is that she'd cheat on you. If she jumped from relationship to relationship without ever achieving stability, she won't magically become stable with you. If she has a history of financial, emotional, or social instability, that doesn't disappear because you appeared in her life. You're not the chosen one. You're not special enough to rewrite her nature. Patterns exist for a reason. And ignoring them because you want to believe in exceptions is like ignoring that fire burns because you're wearing gloves. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. This is statistical fact. This is psychological reality. And pretending otherwise is fantasy that will cost you dearly. Seventh law. Never choose a woman who tries to mold you. There's a huge difference between a woman who adapts to your world and a woman who tries to change who you are. The right woman will enter your life and ask how she can add value, how she can fit into your vision, how she can strengthen what you're already building. The wrong woman will enter your life with a list of modifications. You need to change this. You need to stop that. You need to be less of this and more of that. Machiavelli would understand this as loss of territory. When you start surrendering your identity, you lose your power. And a man without power in a relationship is a man who will be disrespected, manipulated, and eventually discarded. She should be adding to who you are, not subtracting from it. She should be amplifying your strengths, not attacking them. If you find yourself becoming less of yourself to accommodate her demands, you're in the wrong relationship with the wrong woman. Eighth law. The woman who weakens your discipline is a strategic risk. This is simple. If since she entered your life you train less, work less, focus less, sleep worse, eat worse, are less present in your mission, then she's not an ally. She's walking sabotage. It doesn't matter if she does this consciously or not. The result is the same. You're becoming a weaker version of yourself. And believe me, she noticed this too. And when she notices, she respects you less. It's a destructive cycle. You sacrifice your discipline to please her. She loses respect for you because you no longer have discipline and the relationship crumbles. The right woman would never ask for this. She knows that your strength is what attracted her in the first place. She understands that a weak man serves no one, least of all her. She wants you strong, capable, disciplined, because that's the man she chose. The moment she starts eroding these qualities is the moment she's revealed herself as enemy, not ally. Ninth law, female tests are inevitable. Failing them is optional. Every woman tests. This isn't conscious most of the time. It's instinct. She needs to know if you're really strong or just pretending. She needs to know if you have boundaries or if you yield to any pressure. She needs to know if you're emotionally reliable or if you crumble at the first difficulty. These tests come in various forms. She might create a small drama to see how you react. She might question a decision of yours to see if you stand firm. She might act irrationally to see if you maintain composure. The man who understands this passes the tests without even noticing. He remains firm, calm, clear. He doesn't yield to emotional manipulations. He doesn't justify his decisions desperately. He simply is who he is, and when a woman realizes you can't be shaken, that you have solid foundation, her respect for you multiplies. The man who fails these tests becomes an emotional pawn. And from there, the relationship is already over. It just hasn't been made official yet. Testing is natural female behavior. It's how they ensure they've chosen a strong man. The problem isn't the test. The problem is men who don't recognize they're being tested and who react emotionally instead of remaining grounded. Pass the test silently. Don't announce you know you're being tested. Just remain unshakable. That's all she needs to see. 10th law. The woman who doesn't fear losing you will never value you. This is harsh, but it's absolute truth. I'm not talking about irrational fear. It's not about creating drama or threats. It's about perceived value. Machiavelli would say it like this: that which is impossible to lose becomes irrelevant. If you're always available, always yielding, always desperate to please, always proving your worth, you have no value whatsoever in her eyes. She knows you're not going anywhere. She knows you'll accept anything. And when someone knows you'll accept anything, they offer you exactly that. Anything. The woman needs to understand that you have standards, that you have boundaries, that you won't tolerate disrespect, and that if she's not willing to be up to the standard of what you offer, you'll move forward without hesitation. This isn't arrogance. It's strategic self-preservation. Value is created through scarcity and standards. If you're abundant and available with no requirements, you have no value. If you're selective and have clear boundaries, you become valuable. This is basic economics applied to relationships, and it's non-negotiable truth. Now let's close this out. The wrong decision costs years of your life. The right decision multiplies your destiny. It's not an exaggeration. A woman aligned with you transforms everything. She protects your peace. She strengthens your mission. She gives you emotional stability that allows you to operate at the highest level. She's your most powerful ally. The wrong woman does the opposite. She drains your energy. She sabotages your discipline. She creates chaos where there should be clarity. She transforms your life into a constant emotional battlefield, and you lose years trying to fix something that should never have started. This isn't about misogyny. It's not about blaming women. It's about masculine responsibility. It's about you understanding that this is one of the most important decisions you'll make in life, and that treating it emotionally and impulsively is a mistake you'll pay dearly for. The final responsibility is always yours. You choose, you accept. You allow entry into your kingdom. You define the standards. You establish the boundaries. And if you allow chaos, if you tolerate disrespect, if you accept mediocrity, the fault isn't hers. The fault is yours. You are the ruler of your own life. Every man is. And weak rulers create weak kingdoms. Rulers who don't know how to choose allies end up destroyed by internal enemies. Machiavelli wrote The Prince to teach rulers to survive in a brutal world. He understood that good intentions don't guarantee good results. That feelings don't replace strategy. That reality doesn't care about what you desire. It only responds to what you do. Applying this to your personal life, especially in choosing who you allow intimately into your world, isn't being cold. It's being mature. It's being responsible. It's being strategic about the future you're building. Choose like a king, not like an emotional orphan. A king chooses strategically. He evaluates impact. He observes patterns. He tests loyalty. He demands alignment. He doesn't get carried away by appearances or empty promises. An emotional orphan chooses with neediness. He clings to any attention. He ignores red flags because he's desperate for connection. He accepts crumbs because he thinks he doesn't deserve the whole feast. The difference between these two men isn't luck. It's awareness. It's discipline. It's courage to be alone until finding someone who truly adds value. Temporary solitude is infinitely better than permanent destructive company. Machiavelli understood that security comes from strength, not from weak alliances. And the same logic applies here. Your emotional, financial, and psychological security comes from strong choices, not from weak relationships maintained by fear of being alone. Being alone isn't the curse society makes it out to be. Being with the wrong person is the real curse. Solitude gives you clarity, peace, focus, strength. The wrong relationship gives you chaos, confusion, weakness, and years you'll never recover. Choose wisely. So here's the final call. Review your life. Look honestly at the woman who's beside you or at the woman you're considering bringing into your life. Apply these laws without mercy. Does she elevate you or corrode you? Does she respect your mission or compete with it? Does she strengthen your discipline or sabotage it? Does she test you and you pass the tests, or do you live failing and losing respect? Does she fear losing you because she understands your value, or does she treat you as guaranteed because you act like an emotional doormat? Answer these questions with brutal honesty, and then act accordingly. Because the truth is this: you don't have time to waste. Every year you spend in a wrong relationship is a year you'll never recover. It's a year of wasted energy, of unrealized potential, of compromised mission. And in the end, when you look back, it won't be her you'll blame. It'll be yourself, for having seen the signs and ignored them, for having known the truth and chosen the comfortable lie, for having had the information and not having had the courage to act. Don't be that man. Be the man who chooses strategically, who leads without apologizing, who demands excellence from himself and from whoever is beside him, who understands that relationships aren't about movie romance. They're about building something solid with someone who's truly aligned with your vision. Machiavelli wasn't wrong about human nature. He just had the courage to say out loud what most prefer to ignore. People act out of interest. Loyalty must be earned. Appearances deceive, and wrong choices destroy kingdoms. You are the prince of your own kingdom. Govern with wisdom. Choose your allies with strategy. And never, ever allow someone to enter your world and destroy what you built with so much sacrifice. Your legacy depends on it. Your peace depends on it. Your future depends on it. Make the choice worthy of the man you're becoming, not the boy you used to be. If this video made sense to you, if you felt you needed to hear this, drop your like now, share it with whoever needs this message, and comment down below which of these laws impacted you the strongest. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe now, because the content coming up will continue in this line of raw, unfiltered truth. Until the next video.